Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast brought to you by the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am joined by Ty Capone. We have a UFC Vegas 84 to discuss everything that went down. Ankalaev yelled timber, and Johnny Walker hit the ground. It's always a spectacular way he goes out and gets knocked out. Again, my name is Matt McSweeney. I'm joined by Ty Capone. Ty, did you enjoy the fights this weekend? There was, it was good to be back UFC wise. We did pretty well. We will get into all UFC Vegas 84, but we will also start off with some UFC fight news. But how you feeling today?
Pretty good. It's a cold, chilly day down in the Berg. It's going to be. Last night crept into the low 50s, high 40s.
Wow.
And listen, hey, before you get out of control over there, I'm not trying to get any sympathy, but with all these goddamn high rises going up, the wind tunnels are fucking hurt, man. Yeah. They whip when it's like 4 or 5 a.m. You're walking across the street and you're just like, oh, they're intense, and it's going to get to the low 40s tonight as well. But this is our cold front. We get 50, 60, 40s for like a week or two, and then it's back to the 70s. So I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to ball out, start shooting some hoops again. I've been doing that a lot more regularly.
Oh shit.
Trying to get my jumper back because Lord knows that thing's broke. But I'm glad we got fights. I think me and you did really well. I think we're off to a good start, dude. Last year, I don't know if you remember, but I think our first 6 cards were just in the fucking dark red, and it was impossible to get out of that hole that we dug for each other. At least me and you went down with each other, similar to Adolf and Anna.
Jesus.
So yeah, let's keep it rolling, dude. I think this week's card is okay. I mean, it's a card, it's a pay-per-view. I'm always going to be amped for that. I think we're getting a new champion this weekend. So, I can't wait.
Well, we definitely are.
Well, you think so?
No, the women's fight, isn't there a women's title fight?
Yes. So I guess we're getting a new champion there. Juliana Pena's talking shit to everybody.
Yeah.
Macy Barber is like, what the fuck? What you say fuck me for? So, there's some storylines. It's, we got fights. We have fight news seemingly every hour. Some not major, some major, but Dana White's also, I don't want to, continue this monologue. But I see that they've canceled the Saudi card, trying to push it back. I don't love that. It screams of Saudi interference, saying, "Hey, we want a stacked card.
His Excellency
we don't want
said
Muhammad
this is bullshit." Yeah, he was like, "Dude, I'm not paying you for this fucking nonsense. Make sure Chimaev's fighting." Probably shit like that. So
So there's a lot going on. Also, dude, in a couple months we have that lawsuit. I think in April, there's a couple lawsuits, the antitrust lawsuit with the UFC. So, oh man, there's a lot of big fights, big cards planned, and then you have that thrown in the middle of it. You have PFL and Bellator trying to figure out their thing. So I'm feeling good, dude. I'm excited. We have all the fights, all the news, and let's do it.
So, I think we should kick it off with just a little bit of fight news, things of that nature. We had a big-time fight made for UFC 300, and this is the kind of shit we were talking about. If you go back and watch our video of us talking about what we think is going to happen, it was different from what we want to happen, but this is kind of what we want and think is going to happen. UFC 300, the BMF title is going to be contested. It is going to be on the line. It'll be Justin, the Highlight Gaethje, defending his belt against Max Blessed Holloway, going up to 155 in a 5-round BMF title fight. Now, I know the BMF, we thought that was going to be a one-time thing, and that comes along with a little bit of corniness, just the idea of there being a BMF title, but I don't care. If it's an excuse to have these two fight each other in a 5-round fight on the biggest card in probably of the year, what it should be, then Ty, I'm all in. I am so excited. I would like to say right away, instinct prediction is Justin Gaethje TKO.
Yeah, that would be crazy seeing Max get put out. But Justin's on a run, man. I don't know if Max can put Justin out as many times as Justin could put Max out, I guess is how I look at it. But man, there's probably going to be no wrestling, right? There's probably not going to be much clinch. There's going to be a little bit of clinch work, but it's going to be violent. Yeah, dude, that's a good fight. And I think it's one that, a lot of people didn't really circle. They were trying to. There's so many people were trying to act like UFC 300 was going to be the return of Rousey, Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir, Fedor.
I was just hoping
Bigfoot Silva.
I kept my expectations in a realistic sense, and I still was out of my mind.
People were talking about Nick Diaz. I'm like, bro, that fucking corpse of a human is not coming back to fight. Like, let's get that straight. But I saw a lot of people thinking they were going to do something outside the box. I was thinking no shot. It's not that far away. Jim Miller how about Jim Miller going to be on UFC 100, 200, and 300? Yeah. That is insane. Also, Tapology has a new layout on their site, so that's going to be hard to get used to. But
oh man, we win 1 week and they change it.
299, I can't fucking wait for that. But 300, dude, I don't want to say it's underrated or it's going to be better, but back-to-back amazing pay-per-views. I can't fucking wait. I think 300 is close to being finalized, right?
Yeah, I think they're just going to need a couple, I don't know what they're going to do. They're missing, another title fight. Probably one more. I don't know if they're going to do 2 more. They potentially could, but I think they're missing one. And we could go back and forth between Edwards and Bilal. Or Poatan and Jamal Hill. But those are the 2 that I would go back and forth on. I don't... Did they make the Jamal Hill fight yet?
No, I think he's still recovering from, was it his Achilles that he tore or his patellar tendon? Either way,
Achilles, I believe.
Something that was good. Which is brutal. I'm gutted for him. The fact that happened right in the middle of his prime, right as he was starting to get going.
What a performance against Glover, and then that happens.
Now suddenly 205 has life. Ankalaev is, showing up, being the guy that we thought he could be.
Yep.
At least as of late, and then you still got Hill. Rakic has a huge chance to get himself back in the title picture with a win over Yuri Prohaska. When's the last time we even saw Alexander Rakic? I guess it was when he snapped his leg, right, against Blachowicz. So almost 2 years off. That's not ideal, but he's a big dude. He can provide some different looks. So I'm excited. I'm excited what they can do at 205.
Yeah, would you agree though? Back to the Holloway Gaethje fight, Holloway last time he went up to 55 was against Dustin Poirier, and a whole different situation, different fight. But you would say Holloway was more in his prime than he is now, and he kind of got I wouldn't say he did get kind of dominated. He got handled. He really wasn't necessarily going to win that fight at any time. He had his moments here or there, but Dustin Poirier controlled that fight for the most part.
Yeah, I actually want to go back. It's so funny you said that. I was trying to go back and see what the numbers were for that fight. I agree, though. I don't know what Max is going to do differently. I don't know how he can. I guess. What do you want to box? Would he want a leg kick? I don't know. I feel like either way, he kind of plays in to what Justin Gaethje does.
Yeah.
So that kind of worries me. I love both guys, obviously. And let's go back to when he fought. Yeah, when he fought Dustin, he outstruck him. He outlanded him 181 to 178. Significant strikes and total strikes. Dustin 1 of 8 on takedowns, and Max did have a sub attempt. Not sure what that was. I'd have to go back and rewatch that fight, but that's just the cumulative totals. Obviously it's much different. And Dustin started that fight 154 115 in the first round. They were both just so much volume. 80, 90 plus attempted strikes per round. I think we're going to get that. I think we might even get even more this time because I think Dustin's a little bit more patient. Justin and Max, that's just going to be blood and guts. I agree with you. I honestly might take Justin inside the distance, but it's hard to make that bet against Max. But you also know it's going to have to come one day.
Yeah, I just think it's a bad fight for him. It really is. I didn't. At any point though, if that's what somebody was whoever he was going to fight, he's going to be up against it. If he was going to fight Topuria, if he was going to fight Josh Emmett, I mean, I think he would beat Josh Emmett, but the danger is still there of that bomb landing on him, and at some point, his chin is going to give out on him. He has been fighting for such a long time. He's been in all these different wars. There's, something's got to give at a certain point, but right now, Justin Gaethje's minus 215, dude. So that goes to tell you what they think the deal is or what they think is going to happen. I'm excited for that. Another fight, Ty, that got made that I think we didn't talk about on here was Cody Garbrandt, Davison Figueiredo at 35. I mean, thanks for coming, Cody G. You had one good fight. You got a highlight reel against Brian Kelleher, and then you want to talk about a step up in competition. This seems like I don't want to say walk in the park. Obviously, Cody G can knock anyone out, but I think the second he lands on Cody G's chin, it's going to be chicken dance
over.
Central. Yeah, it's going to be rough.
I don't think Cody has a fucking prayer in this fight. It's only, the only question is what round does Figgy get it done? I think round one. I think round one, he's going to come out. He's going to impose his will. I think he's probably going to be, I don't know about naturally bigger. I think they're both same-ish size, but dude, we know the story about Cody at this point, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think there's really much else to be said.
It's about both of them, man. Figueiredo looked like a savage in that Font fight, and Cody G had struggled for against Rob Font. So the MMA math doesn't always work, but Figueiredo, just all he needed to show me in that fight was that his power translates, and it definitely translates up to 35. So that was one of the things I think I bet Font in that fight because I thought there's no way he's going to be knocking people out like he was at 25. Now maybe he's not knocking them out, but he's fucking hurting them, and I think he's going to hurt Cody G, and he's going to get him out of there. So it's
going to be bad news, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So I think that's all the fight news that.
Real quick though, we're 1 month away from you know what, and new 145-pound champion of the world. I can't wait. I know you can't wait. That card's kind of sneaky good.
Yeah,
I know Tatiana Suarez just pulled out again, which poor chick, dude. She said it's a minor setback, but this has just been happening for 5-6 years now. It's not her fault, obviously, but we have Amanda Lemos, Mackenzie Dern. Oh, Mackenzie. I don't know how her stand-up's going to do in this one. Yeah, but
that's another easy bet.
Maybe she can get Lemos down, but then again, I don't know if she can get you down. So
she could.
I would like if she could get me or you down. I would love that. But honestly, that card is not that bad. It snuck up on me when I'm looking at 299, 300. What's McGregor 302? This one 298, dude. Merab and Cejudo in the feature bout. Jeff Neal, awesome. Ian Gary, and then Fluffy and Al Scaroff kicking off the main card, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
The prelims, AJ Dobson and Trayshawn Gore is not really tickling my fancy. I don't know about you, but I know you're psyched to see Andrea Lee, Miranda Maverick.
Is that Paulo Costa and Robert Whittaker happening there too?
That's the co-main, yeah.
I
don't love that fight that much for some reason. It's the Paulo Costa effect. I really just am
tired of his shit.
I'm iffy on him, and also some of his fights are shit. But that fight, I agree with you. Seeing how Paulo or how Rob Whittaker bounces back, hopefully good. Hopefully he doesn't go to sleep from a jab again, but we'll see.
Another notable fight I would say was Sean Brady, Vicente Luque getting made for the main event in the UFC AC. So at least it wasn't the Blanchfield fight. We'll see. I was scouting tickets and they're like $250 just to get in. So I got a nice TV.
If we're in the green this weekend, though, I'm just saying. We hit a little.
I'm gonna need to go in the green a lot, dude. A lot of green.
Kelly green, if you will.
Yeah, those WrestleMania tickets were not cheap. Let me just say that. So, that's pretty much all the fight news that I have. I know they're doing Amanda Hebos and Rose Namajunas.
I like that.
Down the road, I do like that as well. But that's pretty much all the
Kennedy Zachukwu OSP. Love that.
Oh boy, yeah.
Muhammad Usman, Chris Barnett.
Wow,
that's good. Yeah.
I think Dana, like some of them fights has Dana's prints all over them because he just goes, you know what? I want to see these two dudes fight each other.
Yeah, I'm bored. Dude. So our boy, I forgot that kind of got lost in the shuffle. Nursultan Ruzaboev got booked for AC. Dude, you have to go.
Oh man, did he? Who's he fighting?
He's fighting Cedric Dumas, so
Wow.
he is going to absolutely.
He's going to fuck him up.
He's going to dismantle him. That winning streak of 2 is coming to an end, brother.
That's going to be a sick card. I do have to go.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, the AC card's kind of getting,
I just don't want to spend like $700 to go. That's the only thing.
As you should. Yeah, that's.
like
Hopefully, we can find somebody. If there's anybody out there, any cougars, any people with money that want to give it away, let us know.
Please do, and I'll give you some picks for free. Like I don't always give them on this podcast for free.
Forearm picks? Oh, I thought you meant.
Yeah. I mean, I might have to start selling picks in order to go to this fucking thing, dude. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think that fight card's starting to come along a little bit. Honestly, there's some good fight cards that are leading off this year, leading up to 300. So, the times are okay. Times are good with the UFC. We got a card coming up this weekend that's pretty nice. We got the Future fighting, so we'll get to watch some people go to sleep then. Jimmy Flick is fighting, so he might get to go to sleep. So,
oh, dude, he
yeah,
he's one of the Mount Rushmore of glass chin fighters. I think he's up there on that one. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to hammer that bet.
So Ty, we have UFC Vegas 84, Ankalaev versus Walker. We had 12 scheduled fights. We lost one before the card started due to a weight miss by Mr. Manel Kopp. He missed weight by 3 or 4 pounds. Wasn't even close. Again. Must have been a DNA situation or something along those lines. I'm sure he didn't have all those negative words that he has for everyone else. For himself, maybe he did. I didn't hear what he had to say on Twitter. I don't follow that gentleman, so I'm not sure how he explained it or what happened. But I truly don't care. There's no excuse for missing weight by that much, and you're not a professional, and you can't be taken seriously. Then, Manel, you move yourself back in the pecking order when you do dumb shit like that, or let shit like that happen. So, thanks for coming, Manel. Was really excited for that fight too. We both had bets on it. It would have been sick, but maybe they'll. If I was Nicolau, I wouldn't want to fight Manel Kopp now. I'd be like, all right, give me someone else. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm good.
I made weight. I was ready to go, and this guy comes in not even close. So, that's that. We did have Ankalaev, Johnny Walker. Ankalaev. It took him 7 minutes and 42 seconds, midway through the second round, to take out Johnny Walker, dispatch him, remove him from his consciousness. And it was
severed his nose.
Yeah, it was bad. It was ugly. Johnny Walker, I think though, Ty, looked pretty good. For like I always say that to try and just make these people feel better, but I'm not. I'm just from watching it. I was like, wow, he actually is. He's keeping the distance well. He was landing a little bit early, but you could just tell the longer this fight went on, the more Ankalaev got comfortable. He was chewing up them leg kicks for a little bit. Walker was doing what he needed to do. He was throwing some wild shit, but you just knew eventually that Ankalaev was going to get inside and find his chin and do what he needed to do, and it was a pretty violent knockout. Ankalaev cashes out that minus 190 TKO. Before I go on, though, Ty, I told everyone I was going to do our numbers after we both went down like 50 units last year. I do have it right here, our whole sheet. I went 5-3. You went 5-2. I went plus 4.95 units. You went plus 3.25 units. So, Ty, we are in the green to start 2024. So it is a good start to the year.
Let's go, man. I think we both felt confident. There was a couple times we went in opposite directions, not completely, but just slightly, and it still worked. It still ended up working for us. I wish I took that Van bet with you. I like Bunez, but man, Van is he's a killer, dude. I mean, he's very raw, but the fact that he's what is he 3-0 in the UFC at 23 years old,
awesome, man.
In flyweight, for being that raw, that inexperienced, he's going to take an L or two, 1,000,000%, but. That's exactly what, I would love to see. I want to see how he bounces back from now. He seems like a fucking a tough kid, a smart kid, somebody that learns quick. I mean, look what he did to Zalgas. So, he didn't get off to the best start in this fight. I think Felipe Bunez is a bit of a tough guy to fight, especially he doesn't have that much tape under him. We'll get to that fight, obviously, later. But, I wish I took that with you. I wish we just hammered Gene Silva first round knockout with all of our jewels and money on that one, because Weston Wilson, unlike what you thought, he is not going to be contending for a title. So Yeah, that was brutal.
So, what did you think about the Ankalaev? What did you think about Ankalaev, Johnny Walker?
Ankalaev did something different than the first fight. In the first fight, he was just headhunting. He didn't really go to the legs. 53% to the head. This fight, 20% to the head, 64% to the legs. Johnny Walker also went to the legs. At the end of the first round, Johnny Walker was doing his capoeira nonsense that I just, I think it has a place in MMA for sure, but I think some of these guys that use it just get carried away and think they're in a dance-off or something like that. I do like the playing around and then the sudden burst into a flying knee or some kind of combination. I do like that kind of a little element of surprise, but it didn't do anything. It was just all flash. And Magomed Ankalaev is a smart fighter. Comes from a great camp. He's not falling for that bullshit. He's been there. He's seen it. He's done it. Johnny Walker, 2 of 34 significant head strikes, 19 of 31 to the leg, 24 of 71 at distance. Yeah, man, he didn't. He just didn't really get anything going. It's so crazy how Johnny Walker's been a low volume striker as of late. He throws a fuck ton of kicks, but that's it. He doesn't go to the head that much. I mean, the Anthony Smith fight, half of his strikes were to the leg. So that kind of sucks. Hate to see that. I think Johnny Walker still has potential, but I don't know if he'll ever be that. I would like Wale said, potential is another word for ain't done shit, ain't did shit. Sorry. And he hasn't done shit. It's just, he's 6'6", 82-inch reach, explosive, but man, less than 4 significant strikes landed per minute. His striking defense is shit.
Yeah.
His takedown defense isn't good. So I don't want to say it's the end of the road. I don't think it's really ever the end of the road for anybody at 205 or higher, but I don't know if he'll ever be a top 3, top 5 guy. I truly don't. I think his chin is very compromised. His durability is compromised. His defense in general is not good. And his offense, as of late, is not that good. So shout out to Ankalaev for getting it done. I think we've all been waiting for this, right?
Yeah.
It's been a couple fights. The Blachowicz fight, huge setback, even though I still thought he won that. But yeah, man, I can't wait to see what Ankalaev does going forward. That uppercut, the follow-up uppercut was nasty. It seemed like he was just kind of setting it up. It didn't take him long either, Sometimes we've seen Ankalaev go the distance and not really be able to set up his offense, and we're kind of wondering, what really is his game plan? What really is, how dynamic is he? Well, now we know. So it'll be really very interesting to see what he does going forward, how he gets matched up next. I'm assuming he's 1 or 2 next in line. I know there's a bit of a chaotic mess going on at lightweight right now.
Yeah.
Or light heavyweight, I should say. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But I think Ankalaev did himself a favor. Also, his post-fight speech also definitely did himself a favor, saying, I want the belt. That's what you should say. Absolutely. I want the title. I want the title. I want the title. And then force Dana White's hand, make it a number 1 contender fight eventually against whoever. I'm not sure, but I'm here for it, man. You got Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill, Prohaska, Ankalaev. Like I said, even Rakic and Blachowicz. After that, it gets a little weaker, right? I think I would look for Khalil Roundtree to make a little bit of a run. I think he's a sneaky guy at 205 because he has such dynamic striking.
Yeah.
I think he could definitely go a long way. So yeah, I would love to see Ankalaev and Jamal Hill. I think that would be a very interesting contrast of style of fights. But I'm here for anything. I'm here for all the smoke at the top of 205.
Yeah, it seems like Ankalaev is right there on the cusp. It's either he's fighting them like someone next for the title, whether that be Poatan or Jamal Hill. I don't think it really matters to him. But the problem is that Prohaska and Rakic fight, lurking in April, for that to be, something that could jump, Ankalaev, because you could argue either one of them beating each other is more valuable than a win against Johnny Walker. I think people are able to see through Johnny Walker, and
unless
maybe
he got the winner.
Yeah, so maybe it could be just like those two fight each other in July or something like that. Maybe Prohaska Ankalaev, which would be an awesome fight
on the Conor card. Yep.
And then maybe do Jamal Hill and Poatan in the near future. I don't know how long we're gonna have to wait for that, but I feel like the sooner the better. It's more of just a health thing for Mr. Hill. So I guess we'll see about that. But yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said. It's kind of Johnny Walker has turned into a little bit of a like a sideshow, just like I don't want to call him a clown, but he somewhat acts like a clown sometimes. So it's hard to really take him seriously or take a win against him seriously. And I mean, he knocks people out. He goes out there. So it's kind of like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like he's like one night he's like a clown and he's getting knocked out and he's doing the chicken dance. The other night he looks like the greatest fighter to ever live. So it's tough to this time. He didn't look exactly like the greatest fighter to ever live. He looked better, but he didn't look like the guy who was destroying Paul Craig or just dominating Anthony Smith. He looked like a different guy in there. So that is the main event. We move on to the co-main event, which was A10. Jim Miller getting it done for, I believe, both of us. Yeah, you had money line. I had inside the distance. I had to fight for my life for that inside the distance. Yeah, we talked about it. That the sub was the move. I mean, these guys, to be honest though, Ty, they wanted nothing to do with the ground for a large portion of this fight. This fight was, just stand and throw bombs back and forth at each other. Gabriel Benitez comported himself well, but he just got caught at the end of this fight. There was only, a minute and a half left. And I had given up on it. I had to go back and watch this because I was like, at a certain point, I was like, damn, we're not going to the ground. He's not going to, finish him on the feet. I got screwed. Like, I think this is a bad bet. And was Jim Miller going to win on the cards? Because I thought it was a close fight. I felt like if he could have gone back and forth.
I thought he won the first two, but they were very close. I mean, I think they had. Let's see what the score. Yeah,
he was wearing the damage. That's what I guess. That's probably what kind of confused me.
All three judges had him up 20-18. So that was his fight to win. His fight to lose. And one of the better performances I think all around. Given all the circumstance, I think his last couple wins have been against weak competition. But how about this for Jim Miller, which I was kind of unaware of. He's never had a major surgery in his career.
Really?
How crazy is that? Has never had a major surgery in his career at all. He fought with Lyme disease against Cowboy the first time they fought. And what else was there about Jim Miller? I thought there was another stat I had. What's that, 16? I forget. I don't know where I'm at. I was looking. There's so many Jim Miller tidbits and numbers. He's now 26-16 in the UFC. One of his best wins ever. I'm trying to think of what his best actual win was. You'd have to go kind of like far back. Maybe Thiago Alves, when Thiago Alves was a killer. Or,
I know it was a long time ago, but still.
Yeah, I mean, still a quick knee bar. And Oliveira, I think, was undefeated at that time. So, like you said, very young. Dude, we were sophomores in high school. I'm sorry.
The Phillies.
We were
the Phillies still had Roy Halladay then. That's what I'm
saying.
Yeah.
Wow. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Is Jim Miller a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Okay, so I know a lot of people say no title shots, no title runs, defenses, or anything.
I think it's more with the UFC Hall of Fame is different than an NBA or even more like an NFL or MLB. You don't need to have this illustrious title career. This guy has 26 wins in the UFC. I think that goes without saying. Most guys like him would have flamed out and fallen by the wayside, and you would have never heard about him again. He probably would have retired 10 years ago. This guy just kept fighting and kept winning and has survived and been around for so long, man. That needs to be respected. Those guys in this game, they are as important as some of those other guys that are in the title picture, Like this guy has been a part of the fabric of the UFC. Like you said, UFC 100, UFC 200, and UFC 300 he's going to be at. Like that needs to be,
That's nuts. That's
whether
so
he's not, whether
crazy.
he's in the Hall of Fame or not, he will always have respect from a certain segment of the fan base. Me, you, all the hardcores understand what Jim Miller brings to the table.
I believe UFC 100 took place before we entered high school. I want to say it's the summer of us going into freshman year. And that card, if you look at that card, I remember that card. My dad was not happy that was the first and only pay-per-view he ever bought. I'm not sure why. I guess he loved seeing Bisping get knocked out. The St. Pierre Alves fight sucked. And then I think the Brock Lesnar fight was okay until he absolutely hammered Frank Mir into the dirt. Also on that card, just to give you a sense of how long, the longevity and the amazingness.
Wow.
Mark Coleman beat Stephan Bonnar. Mark Coleman's like 90. Stephan Bonnar, RIP. John Jones, it wasn't his debut, but it was one of his early fights against Jake O'Brien, who they said, hey, we don't want you in the UFC anymore. So how are we going to do this? Oh, yeah, fight John Jones. And that was it for him, unfortunately.
Tom Lawler fought CV Holloway.
Yeah. Shannon Gugerty and Mac Rice. Who the fuck? But yeah, Jim Miller beat Mac Danzig. Also just a throwback of a name. Akiyama, is that Sexyama and Alan Belcher? I mean, Jesus, man. So yeah, the fact that he's...
How old was Mark Coleman?
He had to be like in his 30s at that time. But yeah, man, 16 years for Jim Miller, 14 bonuses. He had Lyme disease, went through it, got that rematch with Cowboy, beat him. Somehow has gotten better. And even these cuts to 155, I can't imagine are they have to be a little bit taxing. So I saw he did say he would even think about going up to 170 to fight Matt Brown. That's who the other guy was. I was like, I don't know about that. So seeing him get Bobby Green, I can't wait for that one. And you better believe we're going to be on the Jim Miller 8-10 train for that fight too.
He was 45, by the way, Mark Coleman, when he fought.
At that time? Jesus Christ. And he won.
He was 50. Yeah, he's 59 now. He fought Stefan
And he's still fighting.
Yeah,
still fighting.
That is fucking insane. But, wow. All right. There you go. There's your blast of the past. Anytime Jim Miller gets brought up, there's a possibility you could be going back in time. Guy's fought everybody, man. Go through his Tapology. Click on some of the names, some of Dwayne Ludwig, guys who are coaches now. It's unbelievable. But you want to talk about performance of the night here? I don't care. I don't even know did it win performance of the night. It should have. No, it didn't. No? That's a disgrace because this truly was the performance of the night. Mario Bautista put me and everyone else on notice with his performance against Ricky Simone on Saturday night. Man, you want to talk like maybe I'm overvaluing what he did, but. I guess it's just maybe I underestimated him going into this fight. Vegas underestimated him. He was the underdog for a reason. Simone could not get him to the ground, and when he did, Bautista was able to hop back up. He won mainly all of the striking exchanges. His cardio was head and shoulders above Ricky Simone's. Like you could see by the end of that fight that Ricky Simone was just getting beat up, man, on the feet. Those just not even really power shots, just straight up the middle, bop, 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 sort of, shit's coming right down the pike at Ricky Simone, and the man was too tired to move his head, and he couldn't do anything about it. Mario Bautista, man, he's legit, he's for real, and he's probably, if he's not ranked now,
right
he will be. Now, yeah, now he's number 14 now, so.
Let's go.
Well deserved.
Yeah, it's a tough division to crack the top 15, too. 2 of 13 Ricky Simone was on takedown, so great job by Mario Bautista stuffing all those. And then the volume, the fact that he picked up the volume as the fight went on in a grueling fight where, I could see how both got tired. 56 of 127 significant strikes in the third round after 38 of 90 in the second round. Just insane volume. I mean, Simone was 15 of 44 in the third. He just didn't stand a chance. Derek Cleary gave Simone the first round. I don't know about that one, but it doesn't matter. Mario Bautista gets it done, and I don't think there's anything else really to say. That was definitely worthy of performance of the night. He tried to get a couple takedowns of his own just to mix it in, but his all around game is so steady, so good, and I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what he does next. I thought there was a chance that he could make this close, but I really thought the wrestling was going to be the X factor here.
Yeah.
And honestly, the cardio. I thought Ricky Simone was going to be the one pushing the cardio because he pushes that pace. But the problem with that is, it's kind of he automatically is going to cardio dump a little bit. I think Mario Bautista really just played the fight to his game, really to his style and his pace. He dictated the pace and just all around great striking and movement and defense. Turning the defense into offense, walking him down, just amazing cage control, very smart too. So
impressive.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what he does next. I mean, personally, I would love to see him get in there with somebody like I know they're a little bit older, but Munoz or Rob Font, just to see that technicality. See what he can do against somebody who's just a little bit older and more of a vet and more put together than Simone. I think Simone's game is still lacking something, but yeah, man. Or even Jonathan Martinez too. Just
that'd be sick.
Two awesome strikers, but Yeah, very impressed with Bautista with what he did, and I can't wait to see what he does next. 135 is just loaded.
Yep.
The fact that he wasn't ranked before this, and we knew how good he was, but just take him to another level, man, and you love to see it.
Yeah, I felt, I felt like I was on. I felt good about my bet just because it went to a decision. I knew it kind of was going to go that way. I just did not know Mario Bautista, like you said, was going to control the cardio. I think when you're a wrestler like Ricky Simone and you can't get a guy down, you fail 12 times, that just zaps your energy, man. And
Yep.
both mentally and physically, you just have nothing left. And that's what Mario Bautista, he just put his foot on the pedal later on in this fight and really just took off. What were the scorecards you had? Are you able to
Two 30-27s and a 29-28 from Derek Cleary, not Clearly.
Yep. Well, your boy Joe Martinez was in there, so he probably said his name right.
We love it. No, he did, because he's the best.
Yep. Well, he's the second best behind Bruce and
behind David Diamante.
David Diamante. Yeah, that's I was gonna say. I had to give my man some respect in there, but yeah, it's a great win for Mario Bautista. Another guy who had a great win, getting back into the win column. A guy who I have kind of just shown my support of, and this man's won me a few bets, so I will always that's all it takes for me to become a fan. You win me some money, you got a fan in me. The Hulk, Bruno Ferreira. He eliminates Phil Halls with a flying knee and just punches up against the octagon, gets him on the ground, knocks him out. They wake Phil Halls up. The man starts crying, loudly sobbing. It was a tough scene. I'm not making light of it. That was not. I don't like seeing that, but it is a good win for Bruno Ferreira. It was a good win for our gambling with the round 1 TK. It was my biggest hit of the night at plus 255 with 5 seconds left in the first round, man. That was a nail biter. But, hey, man, this guy is violent. He is a violent dude. And it seems like he's going to be either like kill or be killed. It's one way or the other. So, any Brazilian who's kill or be killed, I kind of like. But, I mean, hey, we talked about Nurselton. He ain't no joke either. So,
yeah.
Sky's the limit for Mr. Ferreira.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I think his ceiling's a little capped with his size, but, man, he is – his combination of speed and power is relentless, man, and he tries to fucking hurt you. Only 5'10", but he packs a fucking punch. His straight left is beautiful. I like his all-around striking, too. I mean, obviously, his defense is what worries me. I think he can be hit with also straight, quick straight shots. And I think Phil Halls was doing a decent job. I don't think he was landing the biggest shots. And once he got hit with something like that knee, once that happened, it changed the course of the fight, and you can tell he was done. I think Chris Tognoni listened to this podcast last week and said, you know what, I'm going to wait for this fight to go to the second round. He really took his time getting in there when Phil Halls was sleeping. I'll tell you that. But a couple shots he took that just shouldn't have happened. But I just feel so bad for Phil Halls. I think he's got all the talent in the world. I mean, his wrestling credentials are they speak for themselves. And when he got started in the UFC, he did get smoked on the Contender Series by Julian Marquez, but then he went on a 4-fight winning streak against some pretty good guys, Kyle Dawkins and Nasruddin Imavov. I thought the Imavov fight was close, but he used wrestling to get that win. And, man, he has 2 takedowns in his last 5 fights, Phil Hall. So, yeah, I think he fell in love with his hands in that Chris Curtis fight, and he was doing well. He almost doubled him up in strikes, but then he took a shot, and that was it, man. So it's really sad. At 4 of his last 5 fights, he has lost, and he's been knocked out in all of them. 4 in the first round. All of them, in the first round. So, yeah, I truly hate to see it. I think he's talented. He's still, I don't want to say he's young because he's kind of not, but it's probably time for him to go. It's probably time for him to become a coach somewhere. I mean, there's no reason he can't be a top-of-the-line wrestling even maybe a striking coach. I know, again, he doesn't have a great chin, but his boxing is very solid. So, yeah, I am gutted for him, dude. Seeing fighters get knocked out, get beat in devastating fashion, wake up, or when they come to a realization that they lost and there's really nothing they can do to bounce back. It fucking sucks, man. He's not getting paid a lot to do this. He's taking so much damage.
Yeah.
I guess it's better that he's not getting, 200 significant strikes put on him and he's getting put out, I guess. I don't know which is worse. But I just feel so bad for him, especially with, how talented he is. It's not like he's Jimmy Flick who, just needs a flying arm triangle to win a fight. Bellows is good, man. He like I said, he was beating the shit out of Chris Curtis, who's a very good fighter. So, yeah, I feel so bad for him. Bruno Ferreira definitely rising, definitely somebody not to fuck with in middleweight. That's for sure.
Yeah, somebody that you will be able to fuck with in the future is Waldo Cortez Acosta, man. Now this guy, my bet is one thing. That round one, I had no chance. It was a bad bet. I knew that. I knew that right away. But for his own dignity and pride, he needed to go out there and comport himself a little bit better, and maybe, not have to stop Arlovsky, but 3:29-28, like it was a close, like a really close fight, and you're out there
1-1 going in the third.
Yeah, you're showboating. You're talking shit. You're doing I guess these head games where he's quoted as saying that he thought head games might work on ex-UFC champion Andrei Arlovsky. You thought head games were gonna work on a 45-year-old guy who's fought 1,000,000 times in the UFC? Okay, buddy, that guy is a clown. And he is on the DNB from now on. He looked fine, but he was fighting a 45-year-old man. He should have looked better.
Yeah. I don't know if head games will work against a guy who's fought, I don't know, Vladimir Matyashenko, Tim Sylvia 3 times, Fabricio Verdum, Ben Rothwell, Fedor, Bigfoot, Roy Nelson. And this is all like pre-2013. Francis Ngannou, Tybura, Overeem, Stipe, Mir. Like I don't even have to go down the list.
Brendan Schaub.
Yeah, your boy.
My fucking boy.
Yeah, I'm not a big Waldo Cortez Acosta fan. I forgot that in World Series of Fighting, the now defunct World Series of Fighting. I really wish we got to go to some of those World Series of Fighting cards back in the day.
I wish I was a
pure violence. Justin Gaethje in his early 20s just sleeping dudes, and you're like, oh my god, what are we watching? What are we witnessing? What are we watching? So, yeah, would you be surprised if I told you Waldo Cortez Acosta got outstruck in this fight?
Not at all. Not at all. He wasn't doing shit.
Me either. The fact that Arlovsky was really just going to the body and the legs is probably what lost him the fight, in my opinion. Also, the third round, he outstruck him, but again, I think Waldo just landed the better strikes. It was just not a good fight. Let's just say it was just a low-volume, boring, heavyweight boxing match that nobody cares about. So we'll see what Waldo does next. I think they're going to try to get him, someone better, maybe somebody ranked-ish. But, yeah, I mean, if you can't put out Andrei Arlovsky at this point in his career, not even come close to it either.
Yeah.
I think there was one, maybe in the first, where he landed a pretty decent shot or a flurry, and that was just it. But if you can't get him out, man, I don't know. Like he has good hands. He has good footwork, good movement. But yeah. Also, didn't he get knocked out by Philly's own? I forget his name.
Sonny Conto.
Sonny, yeah. Didn't Sonny Conto beat the shit out of Waldo?
Yeah, Bronco beat the fucking brakes off him.
Yeah. So we know the truth about WCA. I think.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying. I just, I'm mad that he knocked out Brzezinski when I had him decision. So then I tried to recorrect it by thinking he was going to knock out a 45-year-old. I know he's 44, but he turns 45 in a month. Andrei Arlovsky. It's tough. That's just disappointing. But
welcome to the do not bet list.
Welcome to the DNB, brother. This is the UFC. This is the betting game that you have to deal with these. You don't know what kind of guy's going to come in here. These guys aren't robots. And sometimes you wish they were robots, because if he was a robot, he probably would have just eliminated them, off the face of the planet. But, now Arlovsky, he might get another one. He survived.
Why not?
Why not, really? I mean, it was a close fight against a prospect. So why not? Why not? He didn't get killed. Keep fighting there, Arlovsky. Maybe I'll be able to make some money. You fight somebody that's a murderer next time. So
who knows?
Have him fight that Cuban gentleman.
After he dispatches Parmesan.
Yeah, after he gets Parmesan out of here. So
that's going to be bad. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I hope so. I sure. Maybe he gets taken down and laid on. Who knows? I doubt it, though. Preston Parsons with a unanimous decision victory over Matthew Semmelsberger. Ty, welcome to the DMB, and honestly, welcome to the unemployment line. I think he's probably on the way out. It's just, it never connected, man. This guy had all the skill in the world, physically, just with, he was knocking people out, or at least hurting people. Like you said, he was hurting people in almost every fight that he's had, but now he's lost 3 in a row. He got really just wrestle fucked in this one, especially towards the end. losses to Alex Morano were not great, but his wins are against guys who, Martin Sano, AJ Fletcher, Jason Witt, Carlton Minus. I mean, yeah, literally. This
only win
this guy's
that
foaming on
was
himself
good
over that. Against Jake Matthews, right?
That was it. And Jake Matthews is chinny as fuck. But oh my god, man! Even AJ Fletcher, that fight was a little sketchy for a little bit. But 3 in a row, 4 of his last 5.
Maybe he gets another one, but who knows?
Maybe he gets another one just because he's done some pretty good things in his career. But yeah, he pretty much got beat dude, he got outstruck at distance by Preston Parsons in this fight. He got outstruck in the clinch on the ground. His leg got chewed up. Parsons went to the body and the head more effectively. So 7 of 11 on takedowns. And that's a guy who, cardio dumps with his aggressive pace. A couple sub attempts on both sides, but nothing really. Parsons reversed him too. If you look at all around at Semmelsberger's his numbers, they're just not pretty, man. I mean, he has a negative striking ratio. His striking accuracy is not good. His striking defense isn't good. His takedown defense isn't good.
Yep.
His takedown offense isn't good. So, yeah, I think this is a guy that probably gets, welcome to PFL, buddy.
Yeah, literally.
You better get to learn Smart Cage.
Yeah, get ready to learn dude wipes, buddy. It's just there's something missing. I don't know if he needs to go to a new camp or if he just needs to retire. Literally, unfortunately, there's just something missing here, and I feel like you're just taking damage, and I know you're getting paid and everything, but it feels like you're just wasting your time. He's only 31. He still has time, but I don't know. I feel bad when guys are getting in there and you just kind of know,
Yeah, dude.
They're leaving something out there.
I don't know anybody in his camp. 88 Brazilian
It's
jiu-jitsu.
his brother. His brother's in his corner too.
Red flag.
It used to be at least. So yeah, that's ultimate red flag.
Oh, Michael Semmelsberger.
Yeah.
Is that him?
I would hope so. I don't know many
He went
of them.
1-1. He went 1-1 as an amateur. So.
Yeah, and I mean, that doesn't that doesn't discount. Maybe the guy is good for him in the corner, but he could still be there. But you need to be training. It's obviously he's not getting the right training, or he's not getting better. He's actually gotten worse. Not. So
yeah, as everybody else is getting better, like Preston Parsons has gotten better.
Yes,
in a very short time. But he's with who the fuck is he with? I don't even know who he's with. Turns out he's with Elevate MMA. But there's a lot of good guys in Florida. Who knows? I don't know about either of these guys. So I don't want to speak out of line here. But yeah, he's even gotten better since the Trevin Giles fight that could have went both ways. He made sure he didn't lose this fight in a close decision. So yeah, good win for him. I just I don't see a huge high ceiling for him necessarily, but he can definitely make it a dog fight. He's a tough night out, I think, for anybody.
The Hafayez fight would have been nice. That would have been kind of a grappling battle.
Rebook it
too. Yeah, honestly, I would love to see that. How about your boy Marcus McGee taking out Gaston Boyanos? Just standing TKO. Who was the ref here? Had to step in.
Let's see.
Oh, Mark Smith, former fighter pilot.
Boy.
Mark Smith getting in there. We had Mark Goddard, liberal Mark Goddard, and Chris Tungioni. Chris Tungioni still getting in there, man. Still getting some action.
He is so bad. He is so fucking terrible.
Dude, I love when they just slaps the guy's hands and the guy continually grabs the cage. It's hilarious. But
I hate so much when I'm watching a fight and all I hear is, keep the toes out of the cage. Keep the toes out of the cage. Get your hands off the cage. Get your hands out. I'm like, bro, stop fucking saying it and do something. That's all he does. It's so funny when he'll say it to a Chinese fighter against a Brazilian. You're like, bro, nobody understands what you're saying, and you're saying it like you're yelling at them as they're in the sequence, and you just keep saying it. How about you do something about it? Stop them and be like, hey, soft warning, stop doing this, or I'm going to stand you guys the fuck up. Yeah. He doesn't do that. He just says, hey, don't do that. Hey, don't do that. Hey, don't do that. Just over and over, and it makes me so angry as I'm sitting on the couch. I'm like, bro, I don't want to listen to you. I hardly want to listen to some of the commentators. You think I want to listen to you?
In the back, they need to have a discussion. I know they do, but there needs to be a hard discussion, especially if you don't speak their language. Through a translator, tell the coaches or whatever. There's going to be a zero tolerance policy. When I give you the warning, when I look at you and go thumbs down to the coach, you got to let your fighter know. You're
Yeah.
running out of time here because I'm gonna get
Like what Mark Goddard did.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a
In the
point
main
from you.
event.
I'm gonna stand you up. I'm gonna do something. You know, like there needs to be a penalty for violating the rules. We've been saying it, and we keep telling. Like, if I was a fighter, I would just have my hands in the cage the entire time. If I knew there was no
Why not?
penalty, why not? I mean, McGregor does
Kick
it
him
all the
low.
time because he knows. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna take a point from me? Like, especially if you're a guy who is trying to just knock people out. Why wouldn't you just violate the rules? Because, you know,
Stand you up
it's
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's a nice little, you know, if you grab the cage and you get to stay up and the ref doesn't see it or doesn't penalize you, then you know you live to fight another day and you get the advantage from it. Like, if you're not going to be strict and swift with penalties, then why? Literally, what are the rules there for? It's just a fight in a cage then.
Yeah.
I don't know, but good win for Marcus McGee. I don't want to take that away from him. It's just I went in on a whole nother rant that had nothing to do with this fight, but
No, for sure. He looked good. I mean, landed 52% of his significant strikes. He even got a takedown,
Yeah.
showing that he can do that.
It's a shame he's not younger, man.
I know. So I guess his career got delayed a little bit because of a car accident and then a snowboarding accident.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he comes out of the gate hot, 35 of 58 in the first round, and then 30 of 65 in the second round. I don't think Bolaños stood a chance, really. And
No.
I think McGee's a bit of a headhunter, but man, he's good. The combination of the left hand and the left kick, very deadly. He also had that spinning back kick, right? That landed a spinning wheel kick, I guess, that landed on Bolaños. So that was nice, seeing that he's a little athletic, the maniac, if you will. I forgot what sport he played when he was before UFC. I thought he played something, but yeah, I mean, he's with a great camp. I've heard nothing but good things from those guys, the coaches at MMA Lab, and Sean O'Malley's always tweeting about him. He was tweeting about him before he even got to the UFC. So I'm a big fan of Marcus McGee. He's got good hands. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's very smart, great camp. So yeah, I mean, dude, let's give him somebody ranked or closer to being ranked than Mr. Bolaños.
Yeah, I think it's time for that step up. I think that's fair. You know, he's showing
None of these fights are close.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you're just eliminating guys in the first, second round, JP Velismus, you're having your way with some of these guys. Then it's time to move up, or not move
Absolutely.
up, but move up in competition. So I think that's next. How about a guy, man, that I continually, I guess, discount because his brother's so good that I think there's no way he could be this good. That Farid Basharat, man. And now, I don't think he's exactly the most exciting, eye-popping fighter because he's more of just a control, grappling, centric, sort of guy. But what works, if it works, it works, man. He had his way with Taylor Lapilus, and I was talking about Lapilus's takedown defense and how he was able to keep the Don off of him, and that guy was just hunting takedowns. Farid had no problem taking him down and just having his way with him. What was the control time? It had to be,
almost 7 minutes.
Yeah, so it basically spent half the fight on top. He just had his way with him. A good win.
First round, he struggled. He was only 1 of 8 on takedowns. Went 5 of 16 total, but yeah, once he was able to get in a rhythm, also did such good work with the leg kicks. I thought, it was going to be flipped. Lapilus was going to be able to get his kicks off better, but he could not. 21-5, Farid landed, out kicked him to the legs, and then even to the body he landed. He did some pretty good work. So yeah, good win for Farid. Not sure if he's better than Javid, but man, they're both really good. And Basharat just has like this. I know his nickname is Ferocious, but he has this like ferocity to him. Like he doesn't stall. I don't think he's one to grind and stall and cage fight and wrestle fuck a little bit. But I think he. His intentions are to smash and to do damage. So, yeah, this wasn't the best example of that, but I think Lapilus is a very tough out.
Yeah.
I think he's a tough matchup, a tough stylistic matchup for almost anybody. So, yeah, we'll see what he can do next. Again, another very good and rising bantamweight that I can't wait to see what he does next.
Him and McGee next?
Oh, I don't want to do that to him. To either of them. Those are my guys. So,
yeah, that's
but yeah,
tough.
I mean, why not?
Wouldn't that be fun, though? Yeah, I mean,
that would be fun. And, they're not prone to not doing, prospect versus prospect. Also, McGee's a little older, so yeah, why not? Speed up the timeline.
Speed it up, baby. Speed it up. But nah, a good win for Basharat. I don't want to take it away from like I said, like he might be this fight might have been a little bit on the boring side, but that I think like you made a good point. Like that more has to do with the fact that Lapilus is a tough guy to hold down, and he kind of had to focus on control over usually like the violence that he likes to distribute from the top. So that's a good win, though. It's a good win against a tough opponent. How about Gene Silva just taking out Weston Wilson? Wonder Boy's whipping boy. He just took him outside, beat the shit out of him. Hey, thanks for coming. Really, I mean, the odds told you exactly what was going to happen here, and that is what happened. Thanks for coming for Weston Wilson. Good win for Gene Silva, who we just found out existed. So there you go.
You just found out he existed.
Yeah.
I remember he was barking like a dog on the contender. He was also barking in this fight, so yeah, I guess he's trying to channel his inner Yoel Romero. But yeah, he's a feisty one. He's got pretty decent size at 145. Actually, he's a little undersized, but I think his nickname is Lord too. I love that. But I think he has an interesting style. I think we definitely need to see a little bit more of him. Right?
Yeah.
He's kind of a balls to the wall, especially early kind of guy. So we'll see if he gets pushed, or we'll see if he can, switch from featherweight to bantamweight, or kind of go in between weight classes. I have my eye on him. I'll say he's still young. He's younger than we are, so there's definitely room to grow and get better. I forget if he trains with the old Nova Uniao guys. I don't know if he does, but I thought he did. He's with Fighting Nerds. So I mean, those guys are dangerous, and it seems like those guys are even getting better. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he's got next. Your boy Caio.
I mean, this guy that's at the top. Are you on Tapology? Flavio Avero?
Yeah.
I mean, that guy looks fucking terrifying, dude.
It's pretty scary.
I guess he's a coach or something. I don't know. He
I would
is.
imagine.
Yeah. Jesus, God, this Tapology picture is terrifying. So if you haven't seen that yet, go on there. But yeah, those guys are savages, and they've done a good job with, now we're seeing Gene Silva, and they've done a great job with Caio Bajero. So also
Flavio, 16 KOs, 16 subs, 17 decision wins. Talk
about evenly distributed, impossible to bet probably if you were able to, if he was getting bet on at a certain point. But you want to talk about somebody who else who was impossible to bet? Tom Nolan. Yeah, listen, not much to say on this one. This was a minute 3. Tom Nolan had his chin way up in the air. He did not look like he belonged. It was tough. He was a big favorite in this fight, but it just was a missed bet here, or mismanaged line. It's not really anyone's fault. The man was 23, had all the hype behind him. He came off the Contender Series with a knockout of that gentleman named Bogdan, so voice crack on that. But, good win for Nicholas Mota.
Yeah, he caught him. He caught him in between punches. And, when you're that tall and long, you have that, especially when you're taller and longer than everybody, you really have to be careful when you're exchanging and trading shots, especially with somebody like Moto who hits like a fucking truck. And he needed this win. He needed this win badly. So, yeah, it's definitely a learning experience, I think, for Tom Nolan. Again, what is he, 6-1 now? Like, you got to be careful signing these guys off Contender Series when they, get a big knockout over somebody who's probably never going to make it to the UFC. You got to be careful, man. They're 6-0, 7-0. And next thing you know, you're putting him in there with somebody like Nicholas Mota, who, doesn't have the best winning percentage, but he's been in there with Jim Miller. He has a couple knockouts. He has a couple, very flashy knockouts. So, yeah, I mean, I don't, in the long run, who's going to be in the UFC longer? Probably Tom Nolan, but, definitely has a lot to work on. It helps that he's super young, right? He's born in 2000.
Yeah.
Old, which is crazy. Yeah, dude, we're super old. We're just disgusting dirt piles. But, yeah. I mean, not really much to say. It was only a minute, so we'll see. We'll see how Tom Big Train Nolan rebounds.
Yeah, is that his name, Big Train? I kind of would have got behind him if I'd known that. Yeah, I did bet him in my private life. I felt really bad about it afterwards. So, that one was a tough one for you. That was probably your the one of your two losses. The other one was Semmelsberger, and this one. This one was tough. You had Nolan round 1. TKO.
Hey, kind of close, right? If you
know, on the other side, dude.
Yeah.
But like I was with you though, because Mota is a guy who we've seen go to he's not durable in any sense of the word. So
he's stiff as a board when he gets hit. So
yeah, so I had a feeling it could go that way. It's coming for him. How about this though? We talked about him a little bit, and we're finally here. This was the first fight of the night. Joshua Van takes out Felipe Bunes. Man, dude, Joshua Van, every time he gets in there, is getting better and better and better, man. And he's only 22 years old. This kid is unbelievable. I will continue to be a fan of him no matter what happens and what goes down. He's seemingly well-rounded. We haven't seen him, like we talked about in the lead-up to this, hasn't really used the grappling or the submission game that he has, but you can tell that it's there. And he used it a little bit in this, like threatened it, but didn't exactly,
Got a takedown.
Wasn't able to capitalize. That takedown was huge. And then he gets the ground and pound. Felipe Bunes was, excuse me, I almost just threw up on the mic. It was a little later on in this podcast as opposed to early on. But Felipe Bunes, he was taking him down. He was having, he was trying to take him down. He did a couple times, I think. But Josh Van is good at getting back up and getting back on his feet. And it seems like he's a great just volume striker, and he's just fun, man. He's game. He's awesome. I'm a huge fan of his.
Yeah, I love it. Knees, elbows,
everything.
All around game for somebody who was. Let's see what he was born. He was born in like 02 or something, right? Let's see.
Yeah, I was just
born in 01. At the end of 01. Oh my goodness, he was born after 9/11.
Yep,
that's crazy. Only 3 fights, small sample size, but that's what 6, 7, 8, almost 9 rounds worth of fighting. So it is a small sample size, but at least we're getting a pretty decent look at him. Almost 9, a little bit more than 9 significant strikes landed per minute. That is nuts.
Yeah.
Takedown defense, 78%. He's absorbing some shots, but 60% striking defense. Gotta love that. He seems like he's tough. Seems like he has a pretty good chin, good cardio, good all-around striking game. I just, obviously there's some wrinkles to his game that he's gonna have to add some wrinkles and definitely, fix some shit. Getting off to a slow start, definitely something you don't want to ever do. Just ask Cheeto Vera about that. But dude, all in all, I am a big fan. I know both of us, we're huge fans of what Joshua Van can do. Representing Myanmar, which is, I don't remember there ever being a Myanmarese. I don't know how that's
not sure
what the plural is, but
get somebody on that.
Well, I don't think there's ever been a fighter from Myanmar, so that's cool, right? That opens up a new portal of possibilities, and dude, making your debut against Zalgas and looking the way he did was so impressive. So a split, a unanimous, and then a finish. So he's, honestly, just getting better. Yeah,
he really is, and you can't. There's not much you can say negative about him, like you said. Like, there's a couple things that he needs to clean up, but again, he's 22 years old. He's only going to get better, and a guy I can't wait to see get in there again. So that was UFC Vegas 84. Pretty good card, all in all, Ty, right? I would say.
Yeah, not bad. No, definitely.
Ankalaev wins $50,000 for his performance of the night. Another Jim Miller getting $50,000. The Hulk getting $50,000, and Marcus McGee getting $50,000. I thought that Mario Bautista should have also gotten it, but they don't give him out for non-finishes a lot, especially when Dane is there. He's such a casual that he doesn't know. No, I'm just kidding. But so we before we get out of here, I did want to discuss Artur Beterbiev, because I was able to catch this fight, watch the walkouts, watched everything against Callum Smith. He beat the dog shit out of him, man. And that it's rare that you watch a boxing match and you're like, wow, that guy, I don't know. There's nothing that guy could have done to change what was going to happen. It was, really, like, from the second the fight started, the man walked across the ring and started putting it on Callum Smith. Callum Smith had never been dropped, right, before this?
Nope.
He had a loss. Who did he lose to?
Did he lose to Canelo?
Canelo. Yeah. He lost to Canelo. Full, 12-round decision. But Beterbiev, I think, dropped him, 2, 3 times?
I think, yeah.
Either way, he was standing there up against the ring, and they had the corner stopped. That's right, because they didn't have the towel. McGregor? Yeah, it was. No. He didn't have. Yeah, it was.
He just stepped in. He walked in.
No
the ring.
towel. Just walked in.
He's like, yeah, hold on, hey. The ref didn't even see him. I was like, bro.
Well, it's so loud in there. He's probably going, yo.
Yeah.
Yo. Like, you have to just throw something at the ref. Just hit him with your shoe or something. Go, yo. Yeah. We're done. We're done here. So
we're done, donezo. Yeah, like you said, from the opening, from the rip, dude. Callum Smith first round, 6 of 57. That's not going to get it done. Artur Beterbiev, 20 of 54, and he just increased the output from there. Using the jab a lot, it's something that he's kind of went away from at points in his career. Also, is he on the sauce? What do you think? I mean, he's almost 40, and he looks like he's just a temple of a human.
He really almost 40? Wow. Yeah. He might be, but he reminds me of every single Russian guy that I've ever seen. So I don't know if that's just how they're built or if they're all on the sauce. Because Russia doesn't exactly have the most clean past with these athletes, and I mean, they had a whole doping program that was all documentaries.
A whole Netflix stuff.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. Unless there's a positive. I mean, there's rumors now that Islam tested positive and that they're just hiding it. That did you see that? Yeah, I don't see how that could have happened, but the MMA community or the fight community, excuse me, I almost threw up again. Will almost create any sort of rumor or any sort of story off of this stuff. He looks like a killer. He really does. So I would not be shocked if there's some sort of nefarious stuff going on, and I think it's probably easier to get away with in boxing. But hey, man, he looked like a killer. He absolutely just murked Callum Smith. They had to step in, and then His Excellency declared that he wants Dmitry Bivol and Beterbiev to fight for the undisputed light heavyweight world titles, and then move up in weight and challenge Jai. Oh, jeez. I mean, why is that? You know what's crazy though? How are these guys making the calls? They must be dropping bread, dude, big time. Yeah,
they don't even want a return on investment.
No, they don't care.
Like, here you go. They just want the word to be spread for people to come check out Riyadh Season. Me and you, we're good. We're good. We're going to stay here.
Got a TV.
In our humble abodes. But Jai Opetaia, very, very quick riser from Australia. He won a couple gold medals in the Olympics, World Junior Championships, I should say. And he just was on the day of reckoning card against Ellis Zorro, who I believe had an awesome knockout in 2023, and then he just puts him out. It was the first round, too. So, he also has a pretty good win over Myris Briedis. He won the cruiserweight belt over Briedis, who seemingly was ruling over the cruiserweight division for years. But, why not? Why not have one of them fight him? The Bivol Beterbiev fight is going to be crazy. And I have to imagine it's next. I mean, there's just nothing else for these guys to do. Yeah. Nobody else really to fight. So, man, I'll tell you, I haven't seen either of those guys get backed up or pushed back or anything. So I don't know who's going to win. I'm just going to, I guess, go with the younger guy. I guess I'm just going to go with Dmitry Bivol after seeing him pretty much treat Canelo like a little child.
Yeah,
I'm all about it. But dude, Artur Beterbiev, the real AB, he is scary is not the word. I don't know if I have a word for how menacing. How relentless he is when he steps in that when that bell rings, he's trying to kill you. So him and Bivol, yeah, dude, that's one of the top fights to make in boxing.
Dude, that is a fight that just you get the chills. You're like, dude, that's that is what we watch this shit for. Like shit like that. Just those two fucking going to see who the best is. It reminds me, I mean, it's not on the same it's not the same, but in the sense of two unstoppable forces of Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, where it was like, dude, neither one of these guys have really been, pushed or pushed to the limit or backed up. You just don't know. And then they get in there and you find out. There's only one way to find out who the best is, and it's by getting them in the ring. I will say, it's going to be hard for me to ever pick against Bivol after what he did to Canelo, made him look like a child. He walked him down. He was putting that jab in his face the entire time. And the age factor of Beterbiev being, he's going to be 39 pretty soon.
Yeah. 39 or 40, yeah.
He's going to turn 39 in a week. So, I would probably pick Bivol, but guess what, man? Who really wins? All of us by watching that happen at 5 in the afternoon after Lil Baby and all sorts of people perform, in Riyadh. So,
and before the Beterbiev fight, a fellow named Christian Mbili from Cameroon fought. Fuck was his name? Jack Murdoch? Christian Murdoch? I forget his name, but
Not Trevor
Billy,
Murdoch, former WWE superstar, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe, but Rohan Murdoch. Would not have guessed that was his goddamn name. He's from England, I believe. Christian and Billy didn't knock him down, but he stopped him on his feet. Christian and Billy hits hard, man. I think he's only 28, so he's also in that mix at light heavyweight. I don't want to see him fight one of these two, but definitely somebody down the line, I think, to watch out for. Also, putting him in the co-main before those guys, I think, was very telling of what the promoters want to do. But we'll see, dude. His excellency will not be denied. So, also the better be. They peaked at about 800,000 on ESPN. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, especially, it took place in Quebec City. So a lot of people probably didn't even know it was even happening.
And there was an NFL playoff game going on right before it. So it's hard.
So good for him, man. I really can't wait for that fight.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was exciting. It's the kind of action fight that will get people like me who aren't really hardcore boxing, fan into it. So I loved it. I can't wait to see him fight Bivol, what he does next. I better be as one of those guys where I'm like, oh, he's fighting, I'll turn the TV on. Any sort of guy from Eastern Europe, I'm like, whoa, all right, I'm in.
Yeah.
Especially if he's wearing boxing gloves. Was that Mirzakhanov, or what was that guy's name? That what was it? No, it's not Mirzakhanov. What was the big motherfucker?
The guy that just lost
out? Yeah.
Damn, it was on the Day of Reckoning card.
Yes. I want to find out just because. What
was his name?
I got it right here. His name is Makhmudov. Arslanbek.
Makhmudov, yeah.
He got fucking smoked, but
so though, you know what he can do.
Anytime the Russian is getting in there to fight, I know that it's kill or be killed. So that's
somebody's dying.
Somebody is dying. Figuratively, of course. Allegedly, we gotta say that. But that is the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast, brought to you by the Hot Take Hotbox. We will have another episode tomorrow, probably tomorrow. On UFC 297. Sean Strickland, Driscus Duplessis, who we allegedly have settled their beef. They may or may not be friends. Not sure. We don't know. Who really cares? All we're here for is the fights, and I can't wait for them, man.
As well. Sorry, I was just looking at the card. Neil Magny, Mike Malott as the feature bout. Not great.
That's a Canadian
but I do
shit.
love. Yeah, but I do love the Evloev Arnold Allen kicking off the main card. I love that a lot. Also, Garrett Armfield, Brad Katona is kind of a sneaky under the radar fight. Me and you are pretty big fans of Mr. Armfield, and we don't like Brad Katona. So I think I know where we're going to go with this fight. But Charles Jourdain is back. Jillian Robertson, Polyana Viana. Ooh. Johan Liness and Sam Patterson. Man, who's getting fraud checked in that fight?
Well, they both stink. That's the thing. Like, they both stink. I'm probably going to fade
Give me
Johan. After what I saw happen to Sam Patterson, I don't think I could ever bet him after that Ashmouz fight or whatever the fuck that name was.
Yanal Ashmouz.
The Red Fox. Oh, my God. That's right, dude. That guy was, like, having a seizure. That was crazy.
Remember, he was trying to wrestle whoever it was for, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was Mark Goddard. Yeah, it was like, dude, enough, please.
Not the guy I would want to wrestle.
Right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Mark Goddard was in there, and he was like, dude,
Mark Goddard
had fucking double underhooks on him. He's like, yo.
He thought it was McGregor. He's like, I'll fuck you up like I fucked up McGregor, buddy.
Like, dude, JSP's getting in there. Jasmine, GSP.
Another JSP.
Priscilla Cachoeira, though. That's a nice little fight.
Also, sneaky play here. I would never bet on him, but Malcolm Gordon money line. Lock it in.
Wow. Yeah, against Jimmy Flick. Yeah, I'll fade Jimmy
somebody's
Flick.
Somebody's going to win, right?
Yeah. So shout out to my dog. We'll get out of here on that note. My dog's barking in the background. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt McSweeney.
I'm Ty Capone.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure to, just turn the light off when you leave the room. Let's not waste electricity here.
Shut the door.